how much is your business worth? Well, the annoying answer is whatever someone's willing to pay you for it. But let's try to give you something a little more helpful. Generally, businesses are sold on a multiple of cash flow, a number called SDE, seller's discretionary earnings, or EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Now, cash flow and SDE, seller discretionary earnings, they're the same thing. They're basically just your EBITDA plus your salary as the owner and any benefits that you receive for being the owner. And then larger businesses are typically just sold on a multiple of EBITDA because your salary becomes less of a factor in the overall cash flow. Now, determining what the multiple is going to be for your business is the hard part. So generally, there's a lot of factors that come into play, but the number one factor is really the size of the business and the cash flow and the revenue that it generates. Now, within the world of businesses for sale, we have a couple different areas. So really, most people are gonna fall in the small business administration financed category. So those are loans up to $5 million that can be used to buy a business. And then once you get closer to that 5 million and greater, typically you start to see more professional private equity money come in. It actually bids up the prices quite a bit. As a general guideline, businesses that generate less than $100,000 of SDE or cash flow typically sell for between 1 and 1.5 times that cash flow. Business between 100 and 200,000 typically go for about 1.25 to 2 times. 2 to 400, you're kind of 2 to 2.5 times. 400 to 800, you're looking 2.5 to 3. And then around 800 to $1.4 million of SDE, you're kind of looking at 3 to 4 times range. And then once you pass that 1.3 mark, that's when you do start to see more private equity start to come in. Most firms really target $2 million and above, but really there's usually a soft target. So you'll start to see private equity money sneak in once you get into that high $1 million mark. Now, once you get into that world, since it's not as heavily bank financed, the range of outcomes becomes a lot wider. You can see deals between 2 and 100x EBITDA. You're getting 100x for a super fast growing software company. You might get 2 times for a business with a customer concentration problem that's really capital intensive. So you get a really wide range in that area. But just to give you a ballpark, we'll give you some multiples. So around for 1.3 to 2 million, you're probably expecting that 4 to 5 times multiple. 2 to 3 gets you about 5 to 6. 3 to 4.5 is about 6 to 7 times. And then once you get over $5 million EBITDA, the range can get even wider and much more specific to your business. Now, these numbers are just to give you just some general guidelines. There's going to be lots of factors that are going to come into play for your valuation. We want to give you something to give some idea of what your business might actually sell. Now, beyond size, some of the big factors that come in are, of course, the management structure. You're going to get a very different multiple if you're working 80 hours per week in the business doing sales and customer relations and installs than if you have a full management team and you're just acting as chairman of the board and you don't have any day-to-day activities. That's going to have a big impact on the multiple. The industry you're in is going to have a big impact on the multiple. Kind of how capital intensive the business is. Do you need a lot of working capital? Do you need a lot of machinery? That's going to affect the multiple. How the business generates sales. Is it from you going out shaking hands, or do you have a marketing system in place? Again, just general guidelines. We really have to do a deep dive into your company to get a better idea of what it might sell for. And if you want us to do that, just reach out to us and we can take a look. If you have any other questions about selling your business, leave them in the comments and reach out if you need help.